sports.
We are Blackboard. We are Pregame.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on, of all teams, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you. Welcome to Fan Appreciation Day and the final game of the 8 games with Pittsburgh. Dodgers have had their way with the Bucks. They've beaten them 5 out of 7. In fact, they have their way with Pittsburgh just about every year. They haven't lost a season series since 2000 when they lost 5 of 9 to Pittsburgh. Today, well, Chad Billingsley with a record of 10-10, trying to get over 500. He is 4-1 lifetime against Pittsburgh. And on the mound for the Pirates, Brad Lincoln 0-1 against the Dodgers this year. Dodgers having won 5 of 7 and now prepare the arrival of the Giants, who are still very much alive. They have a 7-game winning streak when they take the field today against Colorado. And with that, we'll remind you we'll have the ball game and a whole lot more coming up right after this. Spoken, but the cars speak for themselves, like the 2012 Sonata and Genesis. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealer or mysocalhyundai.com. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T.
And welcome back, everybody. Beautiful day this afternoon. Still time to get to the stadium, get some rays, wear the sunscreen. It's the Pirates and the Dodgers here on Prime Ticket. With Steve Lyons, I'm Patrick O'Neill. Our Hyundai key today is going to be Chad Billingsley. It's just signed a 3-year extension. He's the number 2 on this team. He needs to pitch like it. Why not start today?
Yeah, he does need to start pitching like that. I mean, this is a guy who had a breakout season really 4 years ago. When you look at his career best numbers in 08, 16 wins with an ERA of just over 3. You figured he was going to start dominating games on a regular basis, but look at the numbers since 09, 10, and this year in 2011, 500 record with an ERA of well over 4. And, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the pregame show. It just comes down to him dominating and commanding the strike zone, and he has not had good command of his pitches. He needs to get that back.
Yeah, it's certainly not velocity. When you talk about some guys, the velocity's there. He just got to pick his pitches.
Right, he's got to throw strikes with the stuff that he has, and he understands that. He's got to get it done.
All right, so we will see if that happens against the Pirates, a team he has had great success against. So when we come back, we have first pitch and Finn with the call.
In the box. For a limited time, Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. By your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today. Trade up to Ford. And by Corona. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium on Fan Appreciation Day as the Dodgers and Pirates close out their work against each other. The Dodgers have won 5 of 7, trying to make it 6 out of 8, and then get ready Tuesday night for what could be a very exciting series with the San Francisco Giants. You may not know, unless you've been following it closely, the Giants have won 7 straight. Arizona has lost 3 in a row. And with 10 games left, the Giants are 5 back. And the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Dodgers have a lot of work to do before the season is over. Meanwhile, there's work to be done today. Let's take a look at the Pirate lineup. Alex Presley in left field. Xavier Paul, the former Dodger, in right field. Andrew McCutchen in center. Brian Dumit will be behind the plate. Neil Walker at second base. Garrett Jones, who normally plays the outfield, will play first base. Derek Lee will sit this one out. Pedro Alvarez will be at third, Ronnie Cedeno at short, and Brad Lincoln on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, the definition, I'm sure, of a hungry pitcher. First of all, Chad Billingsley has had 6 no decisions and 1 loss since his last victory. His last victory was August the 5th in Arizona. He went 6 innings and won the game 7-4. Otherwise, it's been a struggle for him. He lost 3, or the team did, and he's been locked in with all those no decisions. He is 10-10, 0-1 against the Pirates. They beat him in Pittsburgh, but he is 4-1 lifetime. So here's Alex Presley, left-hand hitter, looks at a strike, and we're underway. Presley batting .305. He has 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in, had 1 hit in 5 trips last night, had a home run the night before. The strike 1 pitch, and that's low and inside. 1-1 the count. It is a beautiful summer's day, 81 degrees here at Dodger Stadium. Billingsley, both feet on the rubber, looks down to get a sign, and the 1-1 pitch on the way, pulled foul outside of first base and down the line, and the count 1-2. So Presley, Paul, and McCutchen in that order. Alex out of Monroe, Louisiana, went to the University of Mississippi. Football and soccer player. He takes a pitch high and away. Presley, not a big man by any means, 5'9". He's listed at 180 and just turned 26. He was the Pirates minor league player of the year last year. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way, and that's a little high, ball 3. So 3-2 the count. So Chad Billingsley trying to get over the 500 mark. Xavier Paul waiting on deck. And Presley at the plate working on a full count. Billingsley ready, turns ready, and deals, and the fastball is fouled back. Chad Billingsley, when you talk about his work and his pitch count, you have to remember that he was pretty much of a wonderkid in Ohio growing up. When he was about 16, he was so valuable and so much bigger and stronger than all the other kids. He said in an American Legion World Series tournament, he was only sophomore, he made 190 pitches in 1 game. Presley fouls another one off. And it was this way when you're a standout player. Billingsley went 7 2/3 innings, struck out 14. Then one time in a regional series, he had 120 pitches. The next day, the starter got in trouble, and he finished the inning, and then went out to play right field, and they brought him back to pitch 2 more innings. Well, he strikes out Presley swinging, and we have 1 out in the first inning. And the batter will be Xavier Paul. Here are the Dodgers: Leather, Rivera, Kemp, and Sands, with Miles, Gordon, Carroll, and Loney, and the battery of A.J. Ellis handling Billingsley. So 1 out in the first inning, and the batter now Xavier Paul. It's interesting for Xavier Paul. In an interview, he was telling his story. He had committed to Tulane University. He's from Louisiana. The Dodgers talked him into signing. That was back in 2003. But he always hoped someday he'd be a Pirate. He takes off the plate, ball 1. And the first thing I remember, New Orleans was a #1 club in the Pirate organization years ago. But that's not why. It was his father who was, well, he absolutely idolized Roberto Clemente. Xavier swings, 1-1 the count. So even though he grew up in New Orleans with his father idolizing Clemente, he fell in love with the ball club, especially that outfield of Barry Bonds, Andy Van Slyke, and Bobby Bonilla. So he got his wish. He's a Buck. And the 1-1 pitch on the way is dribbled foul off to the right of the plate. 1-2. Xavier Paul, only 26 years old. His time with the Dodgers, 2 years ago he was in 11 games. Last year he was in 44. This year he was in 7. So he didn't really have much of a chance to play. So he has moved on, and we wish him well with Pittsburgh. The 1-2 pitch to Xavier Paul is taken inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck, probably the best all-around young ball player on the Pirate squad and one of the better players in the National League, Andrew McCutchen. So he's waiting. So is Paul. 2-2 the count to Xavier. Billingsley on the rubber, looks to get a sign. Now Chad turns and deals, and it's fouled away. I remember when Billingsley first came up, his big problem, foul balls. And maybe when he was 16, making 189 pitches in a game, maybe the foul balls were driving him up the wall then. Though if you can't put the hitter away, those foul balls eat you up. Although he has struck out 144. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way, and a look for strike 3 called. He hit the outside corner. Xavier Paul did not agree with Mike Muklinski. And we have 2 strikeouts in the first inning. And here comes Andrew McCutchen. So 2 out. Billingsley ready to pitch to the center fielder. Andrew McCutchen hitting 300 against Billingsley. That would be 3 for 10. So the right-hand hitting center fielder hitting 264 and takes a pitch inside, ball 1. For McCutchen, he's the power man, 23 home runs and 88 runs batted in. He's out of Fort Meade, Florida. And the next pitch in for a strike, and the count 1-1. For Andrew, he said about 5 years old, he was telling everybody he wanted to be a major league ball player. The 1-1 pitch, and McCutchen takes inside, ball 2. His father is a youth minister at a non-denominational church, and Andrew sings in the choir. 2-1 the count. Billingsley turns, ready, comes to the right-hand hitter, gets a strike, and the count 2-2. McCutchen working against Chad Billingsley. No score, first inning. Big year for Andrew so far with the 23 home runs. Right-hand batter slaps it foul. Second deck almost over his right shoulder, so he's still up there. He had 16 home runs last year, 12 the year before that. So with 23, he is just really starting to blossom. 2-2 pitch on the way, a line drive, base hit into left field. Over to get it, Juan Rivera. McCutchen holding at first with a 2-out single to left, and that will bring up Ryan Domit, the catcher. Ryan Domit has been a plague to the Dodgers. Domit came in here 7 for 12 against the Dodgers, and in his first game he had a single and a double. In his next game he had 2 singles. He didn't start last night, so they finally got him out on a fly ball to center. But he has worn out Dodger pitching. He's a switch hitter, batting left-handed. Billingsley looks over at McCutchen, now works the plate high and inside, ball 1. Another thing Billingsley has to worry about, McCutchen has stolen 20 bases. Ryan Domit up there with McCutchen at first. 2 out first inning. Billingsley takes a shot. That gives us a chance to tell you about Ryan Domit. This year, he's 11 for 21 against the Dodgers. That's a .524 batting average. In his career against the Dodgers, he's hitting .365. When he comes to Dodger Stadium, he's hitting .360. And one other thing, going head-to-head against Chad Billingsley, he is hitting .583. So he is quite a guy to contend with. Ryan Domit out of Moses Lake, Washington, 30 years old, 6'1", 210, signed with the Bucks back in 1999. The 1-0 pitch coming up, and it swung on, fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Looking at Domit from each side of the plate, hitting .327 right-handed with 2 home runs, hitting .299 left-handed with 6 home runs. For Domit, he was fortunate. His father coached baseball, so he was taught very well, starting at a very young age. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley. The 1-1 pitch, that's in there. 1-2 the count. Pirates have used a lot of catchers. When they signed Matt Pagnozzi, who appeared as a pinch hitter last night, they've had 8 catchers. So Clint Hurdle wheeling and dealing with the catchers. You have to go all the way back to the Pirates' 1914 team when they had 9 catchers. 1-2 the count to Ryan Domet. There goes McCutchen. The pitch is low. The throw is high. A great circus leap and catch by Gordon, or that ball is into center field. So McCutchen steals his 21st. Boy, I'll tell you, it's fun to watch Gordon play. Great athlete, and spearing a ball and hurdling Andrew McCutchen at the same time. Yep, young D is a pleasure. All right, McCutchen at second with 2 out. 2-2 the count to Ryan Domet. Ryan bends slightly, knees and waist, takes a pitch low, and the count runs 3-2. Billingsley trying to work his way out of a little jam here in the first round. Chad checks with Ellis, now out of his stretch. And the 3-2 pitch to Ryan Domet, swung on. High fly ball to left field. It's playable. Rivera goes back and makes the catch without leaving the grass. No runs, 1 hit, a stolen base, and a man left at second. At the end of half an inning, no score. The man in scoring position. Now let's take a look at the Dodger lineup. D. Gordon starts it off at short, followed by Jamie Carroll at second. Then you have Matt Kemp, Juan Rivera, he's in left today, James Loney at first, Aaron Miles at third, Jerry Sands continues in right field, A.J. Ellis the catcher, Chad Billingsley the pitcher. One smart hombre on the mound, Brad Lincoln. He's out of Lake Jackson, Texas. He is 26 years old, an even 6, 215-pounder. He was a #1 pick by the Pirates in 2006 out of the University of Houston, and he had Tommy John surgery the next year. We'll tell you why he's so smart. D. Gordon takes a pitch off the plate, ball 1, 1-0. When he was in college, he had been drafted by the Rangers in the 28th round. The 1-0 pitch off the plate, ball 2, 2-0. Well, 28th round, you're not going to get a lot of money. And he said, no, I'm going to keep playing in college, and then I'll go to the Cape Cod League, where all the good college players go in the East. He misses again, ball 3. Well, he really developed in Cape Cod. So by the time that was over, the fellow who turned down the 28th round money, he became a first-round pick. That meant $2.75 million. He is one smart hombre. He's also a 3-1 to D. Gordon. D trying to get something started. And Lincoln ready in his 3-1 pitch, showing bunt. Instead, Gordon takes a strike. So D, fun to watch and developing for sure, hitting .280. 9 runs batted in. Lincoln turns ready and comes back, and there's a high fly ball into deep right center field, heading towards the wall, bouncing and hitting the wall, and a rabbit is loose. Gordon is into third, standing with a triple. Oh, he is fun to watch. So D. Gordon opened up, had a chance to run. That is his second triple, and as soon as that found the gap, you know there was no way he was going to stop at second base. McCutchen and Paul racing over to get the ball, but Gordon jets his way to third. So with a leadoff triple, it's up to Carroll, Kemp, and Rivera now to get him home. Well, Gordon might never hit a home run, but he sure will provide excitement on the base paths. Now here's Jamie Carroll hitting .287. Infield is back. It's so early, first inning. And the pitch to Carroll, a shot up the middle, off Lincoln's glove, grabbed by Cedeno to throw out Carroll, but scoring on the play is Gordon. So it didn't take Jamie long to get the run in, 1-6-3. He picks up a run batted in, and Gordon will get 5s in the dugout. The ball slowed down by Lincoln. If he doesn't touch it, that thing is through into center field for a base hit. So Gordon, Flash Gordon. That was a nickname of a comic strip. I think they even made a movie about Flash Gordon. He is Flash. And the Dodgers jump out in front. And now here's Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp didn't realize a notation about this year. He is the first Dodger in history to do what he has done. Matt probably drives one to dead center. Back goes McCutchen, only to watch it go out. So Matt Kemp hits it out, his 34th home run of the year, 112 runs batted in. He will score the 101st run he has turned in this year and add to that 40 stolen bases. He is indeed a group photo. Matt Kemp, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. So Brad Lincoln watching that go out. So did Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen turned after going back 2 steps just to see how far the ball would go, and it just cleared the center field wall easily. So before the chairs are warm, Dodgers lead 2-0, and Matt Kemp continues a remarkable season. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way fouled off. That ball that Matt Kemp hit dead center, and it hit the hitter's background well beyond the fence. He got it all. Now he's just one behind Albert Pujols, and he is just putting up phenomenal numbers. Don Mattingly was talking about the fact that Matt Kemp plays every game. And he said, well, there's a sense of pride in playing every day. Rivera takes off the plate. Taking a day off would probably help him, but it's not something I want to take away from him. So if Matt wants to play, Mattingly will let him play, and boy, what a year. 2-1 pitch coming up, and Rivera fouls it away outside of third. Juan Rivera last night had a single and a home run. A very pleasant addition to the Dodger offense. Rivera hitting .283, 4 home runs, 37 runs batted in. We have 1 out in the first inning, and the out was almost a hit. 2-0 Dodgers, and Rivera waiting on a 2-2 pitch. Brad Lincoln deals high and inside, ball 3, 3-2. For Lincoln, he came in with a 1-2 record. He's lost each of his last 2 decisions, but he had only a run of support in each of those 2 games. 3-2 pitch on the way, and Rivera fouls that away. So Brad Lincoln They think the world of him. Signed by the Pirates 5 years ago. He comes from Clute, Texas, C-L-U-T-E. They refer to it as a laid-back town. I guess so. Not only laid back, way back. And the 3-2 pitch to Rivera, swung on and fouled away again. Basically, with Lincoln, you'll get a fastball, pretty good sinker, curve, and a changeup. He may be around home plate too much. That makes him susceptible to home runs. Of course, he hasn't pitched a lot this year. 3-2 to Rivera. Lincoln delivers, and that's popped up on the infield. It will be the first baseman charging down, Garrett Jones, to make the catch, and that's the second out. So Rivera pops it up. James Loney will be coming up. By the way, the home run that Lincoln allowed, he's given up 4 home runs in 41 innings. And talking about home runs, you have to mention James Loney, who's had 2 3-run home runs in the last 2 games. So James hitting .276, 11 home runs, 58 runs batted in. So James has really been on a tear, with Aaron Miles hitting back of him. Lincoln rocks and turns, right-handed deals, and it's a little low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to James Loney. Loney has hit safely in 19 of his last 25. That's a .368 clip. I mean, he had really falling into a groove, and he promptly bangs a line drive base hit into right field. So you had Gordon open up the game with a triple. Carroll almost singled up the middle. The ball deflected by Lincoln to Cedeno for the out at first. Gordon scoring. Then Matt Kemp cleared the center field wall, and after Rivera pops up, Loney a bullet into right. And the batter now will be Aaron Miles. Aaron Miles doing very, very well. He's hitting .362 with runners on base. Overall batting average .280. 3 home runs, 43 runs batted in. By the way, his batting average with runners on base, that leads the National League. And he's 4th in the Major League. Who would have thought it? A big year for Aaron Miles. And has been a tremendous contributor. He's hitting .467 as a pinch hitter. On the road, he's hitting .305 with runners in scoring position, hitting .327. So one of the big surprises, that Miles had to play as much as he's played. They certainly thought Casey Blake would hold up. And then when Miles does play, he's been terrific. Lincoln ready and delivers, and Aaron takes low and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Aaron from Pittsburgh, but it's Pittsburgh, California. In fact, when the Dodgers were in San Francisco, his mom and dad were at the game. Aaron, 5'8", stands a lot taller on that field. He will be 35 years old on December the 15th. Takes a pitch that misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Miles was originally signed out of high school by the Astros back in 1995, but he made it to the big leagues with the White Sox, then the Rockies, the Cardinals, the Cubs, and the Dodgers. 2-0 pitch on the way to Aaron Miles. Swung on, line drive off the glove of Alvarez down the line with third base open. Easily going to third is Loney. Holding at first is Miles. So Miles, another base hit with a man on base. First and third, and for Brad Lincoln having a tough time. Alvarez might very well have caught that ball, but it hit his glove and just spun away into shallow left field. So first and third, 2 out. Dodgers really going after Brad Lincoln. And Jerry Sands coming up. Sands has hit in 6 straight. And over that stretch, 11 for 21. So suddenly his average at .231. 2 home runs, 21 runs batted in. He takes a breaking ball strike, and the count 0-1. So Miles a base hit to left field off the glove of Alvarez. Loney around at third. Dodgers with 2 runs and 4 hits here in the first inning. Brad Lincoln again set. Right hander ready and comes back. Sands backs off and the pitch inside. Jerry has a lot of power to right center and right field. The Sands backs off, takes a look at Wallach with first and third, 2 away. Last night he had a double to right center, a single to right, a single to center. Jerry swings, doesn't get it, and the count 1-2. The night before he had a double and a walk, and he had a base hit his last time up in the first game against the Pirates. So Jerry Sands, and according to Don Mattingly, Jerry Sands is becoming more confident each day after each at bat. Of course, base hits help. 1-2 the count to Jerry Sands. Lincoln checks, right-hander delivers a shot up the middle. He's done it again. Base hit, run batted in. Miles stops at second, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. So Jerry Sands has now hit in 7 straight, and the beat continues against Brad Lincoln. A rough inning indeed for him. So he's allowed 3 runs and 5 hits in the first inning. And A.J. Ellis will be the 8th Dodger to come up. Loney getting a hero's welcome in the dugout. Miles at second, Sands at first, and here's A.J. Ellis, the young catcher, right-hand batter. Lincoln trying to get an out here, and the first pitch is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. So Brad Lincoln, with a record of 1-2, has not won a game since the 27th of August. Right-hander straightens up, and the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's inside again. Ball 2. 2-0 on deck, Chad Billingsley. A.J. at 260, 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in, trying to pick up Miles from second, and the outfield plays him just about straight away. The 2-0 pitch on the way, in for a strike, and the count 2-1. We'll be very interested to see what happens today. The Giants are in Colorado. Arizona is down the road in San Diego. And the first report, wow, is the next one inside. The wow is this. In the 4th inning, the Giants are leading the Rockies 10-1. They've already hit 5 home runs. They hit 4 in the 4th inning. Pablo Sandoval has 2 home runs. Brandon Belt, Mike Fontenot, and even the pitcher Matt Cain has homered. 3-1 pitch, a strike, 3-2. So the Giants trying to win their 8th in a row. They're playing a Rockies ball club that at least yesterday could not play Carlos Gonzalez, and they couldn't play Troy Tulowitzki. Down south, D-backs and Padres no score. So what a combination. Arizona and San Francisco. Runners go. Foul ball first out of play. That'll give you a chance to learn. Joe Saunders is pitching for Arizona against 13-game winner Aaron Harang at San Diego. So remember, the Diamondbacks have lost 3 in a row. The Giants are trying to make it 8 in a row in wins. If it develops where the Giants win and Arizona loses, the Giants would come here with an 8-game winning streak, and they would be 4 games back of Arizona, and the plot would certainly thicken. 3-2 the count. Runners go again. The pitch is fouled away. And just to add to Tuesday night, as the Dodgers try to ruin things against their arch rival, Clayton Kershaw will be on the mound in quest of his 20th win. Chris LaRoe begins to throw down in the bullpen. Been a very rocky inning for Brad Lincoln. Here's the 3-2. Runners go. Swung on and missed, and down goes A.J. But not before the Dodgers get 3 runs, 5 hits, and lead 2. And at the end of an inning, we watch Matt Kemp clear the center field wall, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. Toyota dealers. The Dodgers take a 3-0 lead into the second inning. Matt Kemp continues to amaze and confound the pitchers in the league as he hits a home run, his 34th. Dodgers leading 3-0, and now it'll be Neil Walker, Garrett Jones, and Pedro Alvarez. Walker takes high, ball 1, 1-0. Walker has a good stretch going without an error. He did not play last night, hitting .273, 12 home runs, and promptly grounds one foul out of play. Walker, a good all-around player, not only has 12 home runs, 80 runs batted in, and all year he's only made 6 errors. He came in here with a streak of 44 games without an error, and he's holding up on that. The 1-1 pitch to Neal swung on and fouled off. For Walker, of course, management hopes he will continue to have a big year, and many, many after. He was a first-round pick in 2004, and lo and behold, he was born in Pittsburgh. So Walker waiting. Left-hand batter in the 1-2 pitch. He takes off the plate. He's a switch hitter, and in looking at his numbers, .277 left. He's hit 11 of his 12 home runs left-handed. .261 right. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Neal, and he swings, ground ball wide of first, speared by Loney, feeds Billingsley, and the Dodgers get an out. Nice play. 1 away.
Batting next, first baseman number 46.
Say a reminder, Tuesday night in what could be a big game, it's UCLA night at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers and Giants. Fans in attendance receive a blue and gold LA cap, compliments of State Farm. To show your support for both teams, buy your tickets now at Dodgers.com/promotions. And remember, with everything else, Clayton Kershaw will be going for his 20th. Here's Garrett Jones, left-hand batter. Billingsley, an off-speed pitch away, ball 1. Garrett Jones appeared as a pinch hitter last night and struck out. He has power, 15 home runs, takes a strike. Jones started in right field the other night, had a single, went 1 for 4. In his 2 pinch hitting roles, however, he is struck out. Batting .246. He takes inside under the hands. So Garrett Jones playing first base, giving the veteran Derek Lee the day off, at least for now. Garrett's struggling in his last 17 games, hitting only .190. He swings, grounds it foul, out of play. The problem for Garrett Jones to have 15 home runs, 11 of them have come with the bases empty. So Jones back up with a 2-2 count. Billingsley ready. Here he comes. And a little roller up along first. Billingsley picks it up and just keeps on going to the bag. So Jones grounds out to the pitcher. And we have 2 down in the second inning. We have a moment to talk about the Diamondbacks. After they leave San Diego today, they go home, and the Pittsburgh Pirates move in there. Then the Giants will be here for 3, and after that series, the Giants go from here to Arizona. And then the last 3 be the Dodgers in Arizona and the Giants against the Rockies at home. So we might go down to the wire in the National League West after all. And the pitch a strike, and the count 0-1. Pedro Alvarez hitting .194, 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Pedro takes, and it's inside. Alvarez just recalled from AAA on the 6th of September. The 1-1 pitch on the way. The left-hand hitter takes outside, ball 2, 2-1. In the last 2 games, the Dodgers have pitched Alvarez as if he's Babe Ruth. He appeared last night and they walked him, and the night before they walked him 3 times. He takes off the plate, and it's a 3-1 count. Alvarez did not play in the first game. So 4 walks so far in the series, and he has to count his way 3-1. Billingsley ready, comes to his hitter, very high. Boy, that's something. Another walk to Pedro Alvarez. And the batter will be Ronnie Cedeno.
Number 5, Ronnie Cedeno.
So Alvarez now has 22 walks, and the Dodgers have given him 5 in just the last couple of games. Ronnie Cedeno trying to advance Alvarez. Cedeno has had a pretty good year. Ronnie checks in, hitting .250 to the point, .253, and he takes a strike in the count 0-1. However, he's failed to come up with a hit in his last 6 games, so that'd be 15 at bats. Before that, he hit it safely in 11 out of 14. 2 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Cedeno skies 1 foul off to the right out of play. 0-2 the count. Ronnie is from Carabobo in Venezuela, originally signed by the Cubs. Last 2 years, he has struck out more than 4 times as often as he walked. Obviously a very, very aggressive hitter. 0-2 the count. Billingsley set, comes back to him, swung on and missed. So down goes Cedeno. 3rd strikeout for Chad Billingsley. They leave a man, and at the end of an inning and a half, 3-0 Dodgers. This year's Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins September 30th with the Division Series on TBS. Chad Billingsley, then D. Gordon and Jamie Carroll, and Billingsley takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Chad hitting 157. He does have a home run. 4 runs batted in. Now the 1-0 pitch taken for a strike. By the way, we mentioned Clute, Texas, C-L-U-T-E. Brian Hagan went on the computer and pulled up a little background on the town. It's bigger than it sounds, and there's a shot up the middle, a base hit for Billingsley. That's the last thing Lincoln needed. He gave up 5 hits in the first inning. So now a base hit by the pitcher. He's given up 6 hits.
D. Gordon.
3-0 Dodgers, and D. Gordon coming up. Clute, Texas has a population of over 10,000. It's within the Houston, Sugar Land, Baytown metropolitan area. And the city was in the news, admittedly, back in 2003. We'll tell you about that, but let's watch Gordon. D up there waiting, had that exciting triple and takes outside ball 1. Clute hit the news with the discovery of a fossilized mammoth. A backhoe operator found it buried in a sand pit. The first dated mammoth discovery on the Texas Gulf Coast. Meanwhile, Gordon hits one foul the other way down the left field line out of play, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Brad Lincoln, who is anything but a fossilized mammoth, trying to turn things around. He's an even 6, 215, 26 years old. Gordon with his triple waiting at the plate. Lincoln at the belt, looks over at Billingsley, comes back. Gordon bunts, drops it just by the pitcher, who picks it up, tags out Gordon, and down to second base goes Billingsley. So Gordon, trying to drag for a base hit, turns it into a sacrifice. Billingsley at second, and Jamie Carroll trying to pick him up. Everybody knows Gordon was really bunting for a base hit, but the official scorer has a great deal of leeway, and he will give him the sacrifice since he did indeed advance the running. One thing Gordon does immediately is get back up and talk to some of the coaches as Jamie Carroll waits at the plate. In fact, he's talking and getting some tips from his skipper on that bunt. Lincoln ready and delivers, and the pitch in for a strike. And when you see the manager talking to a hitter after the hitter has bunted, he's probably getting a little advice from a premier hitter in his day, Don Mattingly. Gordon, who is that type of a kid anyway, nodding his yes, very agreeable. Strike one, pitch on the way, sliced foul down the right field line, out of play. 0-2. When this series began, we realized that there was no pressure. The games were just about meaningless, really. But nevertheless, the Pirate organization, and an old one, and we tried to mention a couple of things about Pittsburgh down through the years, especially the name Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's the strike two pitch on the way. That's slapped right at second baseman Walker for the second out. Way back when the Pittsburgh team got the second baseman from the Phillies of the then American Association, the baseball story was that they had pirated the name and the second baseman, and that pirated idea stuck, and they've been the Pirates ever since. However, they have been walking the plank for Matt Kemp. Matt, hitting one over the center field wall, now has remarkable numbers. 34 home runs, 112 runs batted in, 101 runs scored, and 40 stolen bases. And he takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. The Pirates had their share of fine players through the years. When you think about brothers, like the DiMaggio brothers, Joe, Dom, and Vince, and we're talking now about hitting brothers as opposed to pitchers. The 1-0 pitch to Matt Kemp taken for a strike. You know, not the Necros, not the Deans. There were the Alous, Felipe, Matty, and Jesus. There were the Boyers, Ken and Cleet, and the Bretts, of course, George and Ken. And the Pirates had a tremendous brother act, the Wainers, Paul and Lloyd. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Kemp hits a line drive foul outside of first. Paul and Lloyd, believe it or not, ranked first and third, battling for the batting championship. What made it amazing, the elder of the two, Paul, was only in his second major league season, and Lloyd was a rookie. And they hit combined .367. Paul Wainer was called Big Poison, and his brother Lloyd, Little Poison. The pitch to Kemp, who has poisoned a lot of wells, takes inside at the knees, 2-2 the count. That year, when Paul won the batting crown at .380, Lloyd hit .355. Remarkable combination. That one year, 1927, the two Wainers together had 460 hits. And remember, that was a 154 game schedule. So here's Kemp waiting, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lincoln looks at second, back with a slider down and away. 3-2 the count. Never again did the Wagner brothers do what they did in 1927. But nevertheless, by a pair of brothers, they set career records. And when you talk about Pittsburgh in the outfield, you have to think of Roberto Clemente. 3-2 pitch to Matt Kemp is swung on, hit towards center, base hit. Here comes Billingsley to score. Matt picks up another run batted in. He now is 113. So Kemp 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, and shoots one into center. And the Dodgers now lead 4-0. So they are really giving Brad Lincoln a very bad time. Though Billingsley had to run the bases, gets a 5 from his buddy Clayton Kershaw. Dodgers lead 4-0, second inning. And here's Juan Rivera, but before we see Rivera, Ray Searage going out to the mound. Ray Searage pitched at one time for the Dodgers. He was a left-hand pitcher. He might have been forgotten, but his name has certainly come to pass throughout this 4-game series. He spent almost as much time as the entire Pirate staff on the mound here at Dodger Stadium. As Ray talks, left-hander Aaron Thompson, whom we saw briefly last night. Aaron pitched the 4th inning. Thompson is up in the pen, and Ray slowly walking back to the dugout. Pirates are now in the middle, well, coming to the end of their 19th consecutive losing season. That's a bitter pill to swallow, but they do feel somewhat optimistic. Clint Hurdle is that kind of a man anyway. So with 2 out, here's Juan Rivera with Matt Kemp at first. He has 40 stolen bases. Lincoln said, looking at him over his left shoulder. Right-hander turns, throws over there, and Matt dives back. 40 stolen bases. He's been caught 10. And playing every day. That might sound easy. It's really hard. 3 time zones. Day games following night games that go into the wee small hours by the time you get to the hotel. Matt's leaning on his right leg, but he holds, and Rivera fouls it away. For Matt Kemp, besides all those great numbers, he just realized he's had over 560 at-bats. He's the only Dodger to play every day. He was the only Dodger to play all last year. 315 total bases. I mean, he's just been grinding. 0-1 the count. Rivera takes a strike. I remember that story about Matt Kemp. The Dodger scout went to see this outstanding athlete in Texas and showed him a brochure. And the brochure was singing the praises of Vero Beach, Florida, with beautiful visions of the beach in the Atlantic Ocean. And Matt Kemp, a kid in Texas, said, "I've never been to the beach." And so Vero Beach tantalized, and he came. Shot up the middle by Rivera, base hit. Kemp on his way to third, and the beat goes on. So Brad Lincoln does not appear to be long for the game, but he is due to lead off in the 3rd inning. So you can understand that Clint Hurdle is hoping somehow Brad will get the last out, but his hand has been forced. So here comes Clint, and that'll be that for Brad Lincoln as Rivera comes up with a single. And the Dodgers have just worn him out. 4 runs and 8 hits in an inning and 2/3. We will be back. being a big league player, if you dream you're an outfielder or a position player, you naturally dream of hitting home runs. And if you're a pitcher, oh, you dream of shutouts, no-hitters, big man on campus type thing. But there is such a bitter side as a professional. And for Brad Lincoln, he is sipping the vinegar as he sits in the dugout. A rough inning indeed, an inning and 2/3, charged with at least 4 runs and 8 hits. Runners at first and third are his responsibility. So the only consolation, of course, that huge bonus that he got, and you really have to feel more consolation towards Pirate management until he develops to be the pitcher they think he will be. So here's Aaron Thompson, and he works on Loney, gets a breaking ball for a strike, and they count 0-1. Aaron came into the game in the 4th inning, gave up a single to D. Gordon and a walk, but otherwise got the inning out last night. Left-hander ready, and the strike 1 pitch on the way. He's back to Loney, a little low, 1-1. Well, one Texan following another. The boy from Clute, Texas, knocked out, and the boy from Houston, who was born in Beaumont, on the mound. And of course, there's James Loney, a Texan, just swinging that terrific bat since the 21st of August. The 1-1 pitch on the way to James. Thompson delivers, and it's low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Aaron Thompson, 24 years old, 6'2", about 195. He was claimed off waivers from Washington last December. Aaron set. 2-1 pitch coming up to James Loney, and that's swung on. High slicing fly ball, deep left center. McCutchen running and tries to make a catch, comes up empty. 2 runs will score on the double by Loney, and the Dodgers lead 6-0. Andrew McCutchen was flying, running parallel to the wall in left center field, could not catch it. He was on horseback, and so Loney comes up with a long double and 2 more RBIs. Finally, it was Alex Presley who gets the ball back in. The desperate lunge came up short, and Loney now is 2 for 2. And for the hard-pressed Lincoln, all 6 runs now are charged to Brad. Tough day. Now here's Aaron Miles. Miles singled, batting left-handed. He singled to left field. Now he turns around to bat right-handed. So James Loney continues his torrid pace. He's had 2 3-run home runs in the series. Now he doubles into. Loney off to the races. Well, they can close the book on Brad Lincoln. 6 runs and 8 hits. Thompson clears the bases. Aaron out of his stretch. A look back at Loney, and the left-hander delivers, and Miles takes in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Remember, this Pittsburgh team that is struggling, they won the first game of the series. Ross Ohlendorf, surprisingly, remember, the pitcher hit a 3-run home run to help Hurdle win. But since then, it's been all downhill for Pittsburgh. Two balls and no strikes. The 2-0 pitch coming up to Aaron Miles is taken low, ball 3. By the way, we told you the Giants were breezing 10-1. Padres are leading the Diamondbacks 1-0 in the 4th inning. Cameron Maybin single, stole second, went to third on a throwing error, and scored on a ground ball. The 3-0 pitch, and that's off the plate, ball 4. Giants also added a run. They're leading the Rockies now 11-3 in the 5th inning. And how about this? Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, just hit a home run for the Giants. That would be their 6th home run in the game. So Miles with a walk after the base hit, the double by Loney. And here comes Sands. Dodgers sent 8 men to the plate in the 1st inning, and Sands is the 8th man to come up in the 2nd inning. So 16 Dodger batters in the first 2 innings of play. Left-handed Thompson delivers, and a high drive into deep left field. She is gone. Jerry Sands, a 3-run home run, and the Dodgers lead 9-0. For Jerry Sands, that would be his 3rd Major League home run, and he has just beaten Pittsburgh over the head now. So they bring in the left-hander Aaron Thompson. He gives up a double, a walk, and then the home run. So 9-0 Dodgers. If Pittsburgh had gone to the beach today, that would be the final score in favor of the Dodgers. And the pitch now to A.J. Ellis, a strike, 0-1. Down in the Pirate bullpen, Chris LaRue begins to loosen up. He's a right-hander. So Aaron Thompson did okay last night, but he's being pushed around. So Lincoln gave up 6. Thompson has already given up 3. The next pitch is low. 2-1 the count. So it's been a rare runaway game for the Dodgers, and Jerry Sands, who has really found it, his first career home run at Dodger Stadium and his 3rd in the big leagues, and Sands having another huge day at the expense of Pirate pitching. Jerry is hit in 7 straight. He is 13 for his last 23 at-bats. Much better than 500. So here's Ellis up there trying to join the fun. We're only in the 2nd inning. The pitch to A.J. Ellis is low, ball 4. So let's see how long they're going to let Aaron Thompson suffer. And of course the big reason is the pitcher is due up first in the 3rd inning. If there is a 3rd inning, the way things are going against the Bucks. Clint Hurdle talking to Ray Searage, and as much as he doesn't want to do it, let's see. Clint is on the steps, and he will let Thompson stay in to try to get Billingsley, who began all the trouble with a base hit. So Chad is the 10th batter to come up, and he takes ball 1. So the Dodgers have that rare walk in the park game, leading 9-0. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Left-handed Thompson delivers, swung on and missed. What has to really bug Clint Hurdle, remember Gordon came up when Billingsley led off with a single and sacrifice, and Carroll lined out. So there was 2 out and a runner at second, and they haven't been able to get the 3rd out. The 1-1 pitch is waved at and missed, 1 and 2. So all 6 runs in the inning have come with 2 out. That is enough to drive any manager to distraction. Thompson, who has not provided relief, he's given up a walk, a double, a home run, a walk. Here he is to Billingsley. It is a broken bat ground ball to short. They'll get the force play, and that's that. So mercifully, the 2nd inning comes to a pass. Dodgers score 6. The big blow, a smash by the young outfielder Jerry Sands, and the Dodgers lead 9-0. Major League home run, his first one at Dodger Stadium, and the Dodgers lead 9-0 as we go to the top of the third. Matt Pagnozzi will come up and bat for Aaron Thompson. So it'll be Pags followed by Presley and Paul. There was a classic cartoon in the New Yorker album years ago, sports album. It showed an empty stadium and the announcers obviously at the wrong place. And they're saying, well, let's take a look at that little old schedule. As if they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, when it's 9-0 in the third inning, you get that urge, well, let's take a look at that little old schedule. The strike one pitch, Pags grounds it wide of third. Up with it there easily is Miles to get him. So we have one away here in the third inning, and the batter will be Alex Presley.
Batting next, left fielder Alex Presley.
Don't forget the Coca-Cola Value Pack is available for Wednesday. Wednesday, the San Francisco Giants will be here, and the pack includes 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, 4 Cokes, and for all applicable games, and this is the last one. You'll also receive a Don Mattingly bobblehead with every ticket, starting at $20 per seat. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/special. The pitch in for a strike and the count 0-1. If you ever get the chance to find that old sports album, it's the New Yorker magazine sports album. Pitches outside, 1-1. It is really something to have. Some of the great cartoons about sports, not just baseball. Billingsley ready in the 1-1 pitch to Presley. Ground ball to the right side. Carroll is on it. 2 down. One of the, keep thinking of some of the ones. There was one, if you see a baseball manager talking to a very elderly but extremely well-dressed lady in a box seat next to the dugout. And the manager is obviously answering her question. And he's saying, yes, ma'am, they're for sale, but only to other teams. 2 down. And here is Xavier Paul. Paul struck out in the first inning. Change up floats in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Dodgers 9, Pirates nothing, third inning. I would imagine Arizona struggling right now, hearing the Giant footsteps. They will welcome Pittsburgh to Phoenix. Strike one pitch is swung on and missed, 0-2. Talking about Arizona, they have finally gotten a run. So they're tied with San Diego 1-1. Giants running away with their game in Colorado. Strike 2 pitch, ground ball up the middle. So Xavier Paul comes up with a single, and the batter will be Andrew McCutchen.
Batting next, center fielder.
2 hits and a walk so far allowed by Chad Billingsley. He has struck out 3. McCutchen single to left field and stole a base in the first inning. So Xavier Paul at first. He'll be a very conservative base runner, down 9-0. Billingsley out of his stretch, looks over at first, comes to McCutchen, and he fouls it back upstairs. That's fastball alley. Second deck behind the plate. 0-1. Tomorrow an off day for the Dodgers, and then Tuesday night San Francisco in what could be a very meaningful game. Strike 1 pitch on the way. McCutchen takes high. Dodgers will certainly try to put the heat on the Giants every time they play, but especially if the Giants are still involved, and it looks like they are. And what a classic confrontation Tuesday night. The 1-1 pitch is low, ball 2, 2-1. It is Tim Lincecum versus Clayton Kershaw, and Kershaw trying for his 20th win. Doesn't get much better than that. 2-1 to Andrew McCutchen. Billingsley set, ready, deals, and fires off the plate, and he's behind 3-1. So the September song, the days have indeed dwindled down to a precious few. 3 more games left at home, all with the Giants. And that game 1, Lincecum and Kershaw, what a great way to start. The next one high and tight. So down goes McCutchen. That ball almost nailed him. Ball 4 to put runners at first and second. And the batter will be Ryan Dumet. One thing for Billingsley, remember he got a base hit to open up that lengthy second inning. So he's spent a while on the bases. The team spent a long while hitting. And now on a 3-1 pitch, he isn't even close as he almost hits McCutchen. So 2 on, 1 out. Here's Ryan Dumet. Dumet, the catcher, flied to left field in the first inning. Ryan has really given the Dodgers a bad time, as we mentioned earlier. 2 on, 2 out. And the first pitch tried to check, couldn't do it, and it'll be a strike. 0-1. Dumet fighting his swing to hold it back. Couldn't do it. For the Pirates, Ryan Dumet with a career high 15 home runs. This year that has dwindled down considerably. He backs off in a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Way back in the 70s, the Pirates had the great Manny Sanguillen, the pride of Panama. Played about 1,300 games and hit .299. And that was the era of Wilbur Stargell and Roberto Clemente. Pitch fouled away. And it's hard to believe, especially a right-hand hitting catcher, but twice Manny Sanguillen was right up top in the batting race. He wound up tied for second 1 year and third a couple of years later. So for Dumet, he certainly has a role model to try to emulate. 1-2 the count to Ryan out of Moses Lake, Washington. And the 1-2 pitch, Ryan is way out in front of a slow breaking ball, and down he goes. 4 strikeouts for Billingsley. The Bucks lead 2, and at the end of 2.5, Dodgers lead 9-0. Nine to nothing. Clint Hurdle brings in his third pitcher, and it will be Chris Leroux. He's from Montreal, La Belle Provence in Canada. He's a big fella, 6'6", 210-pounder, and he was originally drafted by the Marlins, 7th round in 2005. Like so many young players, he was required to have Tommy John surgery while he was in college at Winthrop University. He had overused his curveball after switching from catcher to pitcher. He's had right shoulder inflammation, a right elbow strain, so he's had some problems. And here is Chris, 27 years old. Signed with the Marlins, came up in 09 briefly, again in 10, and joined the Pirates 2010. And his first pitch way inside to D. Gordon. Gordon tripled and sacrificed. He's had 26 hits in September. He takes high and inside. 2-0 the count. So it's been Brad Lincoln, then Aaron Thompson, and now Chris LaRue. Leroux. The 2-0 pitch on the way. Gordon holds up, but it's going to cost him a strike, and the count 2-1. Big Chris out there on the hill working on slight D. Gordon, who's hitting 264. Excuse me, 284. He has a look and pays a strike for the privilege, and the count 2-2. LaRue pitched for the Canadian national team in the winter of the 2007 season. He also pitched in the Baseball World Cup in Taiwan. His pitch to Gordon off the plate. 3-2. So D. Gordon leading off in the third inning. Dodgers have broken the game wide open. 3 runs in the first inning and a half a dozen in the second inning. Gordon hits a slicing foul ball down the line back into the crowd, and it's still 3-2. For Clint Hurdle, he was a victim. When you see what happened in that ball game, you talk about the horns of a dilemma. That's ball 4 for Gordon. But here are the horns of the dilemma. Number 1, remember the Dodgers scored all 6 runs with 2 out. So as a manager, you're thinking, okay, he'll get the next guy, and that'll be the inning. He'll get the next guy, that'll be the inning. And the other horn of the horns of dilemma, his pitcher was due up first in the third inning. So he had nowhere to go. The worst thing that can happen to a manager is to have that combination, pitcher leading off an inning and 2 out before the sky falls in. Now Jamie Carroll takes a strike. Carroll is 0 for 2, could easily be 2 for 2. Hit a shot up the middle off the glove of Lincoln, deflected to Cedeno, who threw him out. And then in the second inning, hit a line drive at Neil Walker, the second baseman. 0-2 the count to Jamie Carroll. You have to have a lot of confidence in your ability to play the way Jamie Carroll does. He will almost always take the first pitch and maybe even the second. The next pitch sprayed foul upstairs. 0-2 the count. A lot of hitters absolutely hate to get deep in the count. They certainly, well, no hitter likes to be in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. So Jamie's made his patience pay off. Meanwhile, Gordon at first. A look over there. He's not going to go anywhere. Ball 1. In fact, you could not imagine the affront it would be to the Pirates if Gordon, in his wildest dreams, decided to steal a base with his team leading 9-0. 1-2 the count to Jamie Carroll. Matt Kemp on deck, and Jamie takes inside. We're only in the bottom of the third. I mean, this game is at a leisurely pace, all because of the 9 runs. 2-2 the count to Jamie Carroll. LaRue on the rubber, hands at his sides. Carroll waiting. Gordon off the bag at first. The 2-2 pitch. Jamie, a line drive snared by Cedeno, who could not throw the ball back to first. He had double clutched. So Jamie could be 3 for 3. Instead, 0 for 3. Every ball he has hit looked like a base hit. And this time Cedeno robbed him. And here comes Matt Kemp. And I guess if there is any major interest in this game left, it's what Matt Kemp can do. So far, he has a home run and a single. He has 2 runs batted in. His home run cleared the center field fence. So Matt, 34 home runs, 113 runs batted in, tied for second in home runs. The only home run champ for the Dodgers, Adrian Beltre, back in 2004. One other tantalizing note for the Dodgers, can they do it? They have yet to score in double figures at home this year. Well, they need one. 0-1 to Matt. LaRue ready. Here he comes, and it's fouled away. No balls and 2 strikes. One out, and the Dodgers breezing 9-0. They're ready to win 6 out of 8 from the Pirates. LaRue hides the ball back of his right hip, now set at the belt. And the pitch to Kemp, a high drive into right field. Going back on the ball is Xavier Paul, and it's going to be off the wall as Xavier fumbles it back onto the grass. And the Dodgers have runners at second and third. So Matt Kemp goes the other way and muscles one to the wall. Paul unable to stay with it. Xavier went back until he just about ran out of room. He was on the track and then slipped, and the ball landed in front of him. So for Matt Kemp, he will take a double. He now has a single, double, and home run. So he was saying there's not much left of this game except what Matt Kemp does. And now we have the thought about Matt perhaps going for the cycle. A little embarrassed for Xavier Paul in right field, fighting the glare and then slipping. So Kemp will take it. He's not about to throw it back. Yet another fine moment for Matt Kemp. So here's Rivera with runners at second and third. 1 out, third inning, 9-0 Dodgers. Matt, by the way, that's his 28th double. Rivera takes inside, ball 1, 1-0. Dodgers have 9 runs, 11 hits, and we're only in the third inning. Rivera back up with second and third, and he backs off. The pitch catches the inside corner. So the Dodgers had 6 runs and 8 hits off Brad Lincoln, 3 runs against Thompson, and now threatening to score against LaRue. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris deals, slider down and away, ball 2, 2-1. Dodgers have just about seen the staff, although at this stage the Pirates have brought up a lot of pitchers. But in the Ohlendorf game, the one game they won, they used 4 pitchers in that game. 6 the next game, that's 10. 6 in the next game, that's 16. 3 so far today. So for Clint Hurdle, he's had to use 19 pitchers, and the only one who has walked away with a win is Ross Ohlendorf, the pride of Princeton, who hit his first major league home run, a 3-run home run, to give the Pirates their only win. The Lord helps those who help themselves, and Ohlendorf got the only win. 2-2 the count to Juan Rivera, first base open. LaRue delivers, fastball grounded up the middle. So in comes Gordon. Here comes Kemp. It is now a very untidy 11-0 in favor of the Dodgers. Bring out the dance floor, cue the music, and let's have a party. And the Dodgers score in double figures at home for the first time this year. It's no real fun to watch one club get clobbered. It is no fun thinking about what it does to the professional pride of these players. But they're on the phone again to the Pirate bullpen. Ray Searage, as we said, we have seen as much of Ray as every Pirate pitcher. So he's out there trying to give LaRue a little bit of a pep talk. Yes, it can be a cruel game. In the Dodger dugout, everybody's happy, sitting back, fat cats. Chris Resop down in the bullpen. However, in the Pirate dugout, they have to be embarrassed. You bet. Professional pride at stake. And of course, the Dodgers probably are a little careful in their celebration. After all, they could easily be on the end of it. With Ron Rivera at first base, he's 2 for 3. He now has 22 RBIs in his last 22 games. So Rivera, a great addition to the Dodgers. And here is Loney, who has a single and a double and takes a strike. Scores. They're in the 7th inning in Colorado. The Giants have hit 6 home runs. That's right, 6 home runs. And they lead the Rockies 12-5. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks have broken a tie with the Padres. D-backs 2, Padres 1 in the 6th. Paul Goldschmidt just homered to give Arizona their first lead against Aaron Harang. 0-2 the count to James Loney. LaRue comes back. Loney lays off a sinker out of the zone. 1-2 the count. When the Bucks come up in the 4th inning, they'll have Walker, Jones, and Alvarez. And the Dodgers lead 11-0. Pitch to Loney, fouled off. Crowd very quiet, understandably. Runaway games are really not much fun, are they? No doubt. One team pummeling the other. Light breeze now blowing from left to right. And LaRue looks in. The next pitch outside. 2-2 the count to Loney. The most one-sided shutout. I mean, right now it's 11-0. You might wonder. The most lopsided shutout, believe it or not, involved Pittsburgh on the winning side, as Loney takes ball 3. In 1975, the Pittsburgh Pirates blanked the Cubs 22-0. So we've got a long way to go. Hang in there, Clint. 3-2 to Loney. And the pitch is swung on and fouled away. LaRue looked like he was walking off towards the dugout, but he has to stay out there. And you can just imagine the outfielders. I mean, it's one thing on the infield. You still feel like you're in the game. But in the outfield, you're just standing there rubbing your lower lip or gazing off into whatever land, wondering, hey, will this guy ever get an out? Loney pulls one foul. So for the boys in gray, the traveling ball club, this is a horror story. 3-2 the count. But again, somewhere along the line, every team gets whooped. 3-2. Rivera at first. He'll be walking towards second, and the pitch to Loney is another base hit. Stopping at second is Rivera. You really get to be rooting for the pitcher, for Chris LaRue, to get an out. And the batter now will be Aaron Miles. Hey, don't forget, beginning Tuesday night, Dodgers and Giants, Lincecum and Kershaw. And you'll see the Dodgers for the last time in their visit. You can get your tickets, Dodgers.com. Buy them today. 3-game series, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights with San Francisco. Miles takes in the dirt, ball 1. Tuesday night, Clayton Kershaw and Tim Lincecum. Wednesday night, the left-handers, Dana Eveland and Ryan Vogelsong. And then Thursday, Hiroki Kuroda and Madison Bumgarner. That is it. This one never ends. The pitch to Miles a little high. Come on, Chris. Kemp at second. chased home by Rivera. Loney a walk, so Rivera now at second, and the pitch is high to Miles. So there's a lot of young pitchers on the Pirates staff who have their heads down for the moment. And that's where Ray Searage, Clint Hurdle will have to do the pep talk to build their egos back up. The 3-0 pitch to Miles in there, 3-1. Remember, there's still only one out. Dodgers 11 runs, 13 hits, and we're in the 3rd inning. Sounds impossible, but that's what's going on. Meanwhile, ground ball wide of first. Nice flag there, and the pitch over to first for the out. Good play by Garrett Jones, and the Dodgers move up to second and third. Miles losing a base hit.
Number 47, Jerry Sands.
So Jerry Sands coming up, and Clint Hurdle says, I want to go to the pen. Sands will be the 8th man to come up. It's been this kind of an inning and a game. Dodgers had 8 men in the first inning, 10 men in the second, and 8 men in the third. And Clint Hurdle gives Chris a pat on the back. Hey, it happens to all of them, that story. So he goes out, Chris Resop coming in, and we'll be back. Florida. He'll be 29 in November. He's a big guy, 6'3", 220. Went to Barron Collier High School and was a 4th-round pick by the Marlins, but they weren't really sure what to do with him. He was a star quarterback, and then he dropped the gridiron to concentrate on baseball. Many teams considered drafting Resop as a pitcher, but during a workout before the draft of 2001, he hit a dozen baseballs into the club section of Miami's Pro Player Stadium. So the Marlins said, wait a minute, let's have an everyday player here. And they signed him as an outfielder, but he just couldn't hit. Well, he comes in now, second and third in a runaway game, and Sands at the plate. Jerry backs off a strike. Sands singled in the first inning and then hit a 3-run home run in the second, his 3rd home run of his young career, first one that he's hit here. All of a sudden, his average is at 241. He's picked up about 50 points in the last week. He takes another strike, and the count 0-2. You don't like to see any team get its nose rubbed in the dirt. I mean, the winning takes care of itself. So your heart goes out to some young pitchers who just had a bad day and had it collectively. Strike 2 pitch to Jerry Sands, just outside. Because if misery does love company, Messrs. Lincoln, Thompson, LaRue, they can try and forget this day. 1-2 the count. to Jerry Sands. Thompson sitting quietly in the shade. He pitched the second inning, and before you knew it, he gave up a quick 3. The 1-2 pitch, Sands fouls it away. So it's 11-0 in favor of the Dodgers, and I'm sure Rick Monday and Charlie Steiner can't wait to get on the microphone and continue play-by-play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Restop trying to somehow find the last out in the inning. Sands waiting. The pitch to Jerry, down and away. 2-2 the count. Dodgers scored 3 in the first and then came back with 6 in the second, and they pushed 2 more across to lead 11-0. Okay, 2-2 pitch. Jerry fouls it upstairs off to the right. Fastball up and in. So Jerry Sands, in talking about a player's development, it seems most of them have the same reaction. They come up out of the minor leagues, and the first thought is, wow, things are faster in the big leagues. They throw harder with strikes. They run quicker. It's just a faster feeling. And somehow they learn to slow it down. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. That'll do it. So there mercifully is the last out. And at the end of 3, Dodgers 11, Pirates nothing. It is brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Now for only $5, get one of 5 tasty combos. They're the combos other combos wish they could be. Catch them before they're gone. By your local Mazda dealers. And by Time Warner Cable. Well, we've made it to the 4th inning. Dodgers lead 11-0. Chad Billingsley working on Neil Walker, Garrett Jones, and Pedro Alvarez. Strike to Neil. By the way, the Giants are winning handily in Colorado. The Diamondbacks are leading the Padres 2-1. And in the 6th inning with 1 out, Padres had runners at first and second. Orlando Hudson came up and grounded into a double play, grounding one to third. So the D-backs survived that inning and continue to hold on to the 2-1 lead. That's foul. 1-2 to Neil. Chad Billingsley sitting on as big a cushion as a pitcher is going to get for a while. But he can't get complacent, certainly not in the big leagues, no matter how many runs. Check swing. 2-2 the count. We were talking a minute ago about Juan Rivera. 21 RBIs in his last 22 games. Pirates had a very hot hitter. You remember the name Richie Zisk? Z-I-S-K. Little pop fly. Gordon is there. That'll do it for Walker. 1 away. Richie Zisk, in a 10-game period,
Batting next for the Pirates,
had 21 runs batted in. That was back in 1974 for Pittsburgh. The Pirates also had some wonderful hitters down through the years. One of them played for Pittsburgh. He bounced around a bit. They called him Mad Dog. His name was Bill Madlock. He won the batting championship 4 times. The great Roberto Clemente won the batting championship 4 times. The only 4-time batting champions right-handed since Rogers Hornsby. 1-1 the count. Of course, talking about batting champions, one of the Alou brothers, Matty Alou, he was a terrific hitter, left-hand batter. That's fouled away. I always thought, sitting upstairs in Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, I thought Matty Alou had the longest bat I had ever seen. I don't know why, but the way he held the bat, the way he pumped it, it not only covered home plate, it looked like it covered part of third base sometimes. I mean, it was a long bat, but boy, did he use it. Down goes Garrett Jones, and we have 2 out in the 4th inning. How well did Matty Alou use it? Well, he was a batting champion in 1966. He hit .342. In 1967, he won the championship. He hit .338. In 1968, he won the batting championship. He hit .332. And for good measure, Matty Alou won the championship in 1969 when he hit .331. He won the National League batting championship 4 straight years. Roberto Clemente won it 3 straight. But of course, when you're talking about batting champs, you better dust off Stan Musial. Stan Musial with the Cardinals won the National League batting championship 7 years, 7 straight. And over that 7-year period, he hit .330 or better every year. Wow. 2-0. It's 11-0 here. If you wonder why we're talking about former players and what they did. 2-1 the count to Pedro Alvarez. If he walks again, they ought to give him a plaque. He's walked 5 times in this series, and he hasn't played every day. Ground ball. Okay, this time they pitch to him. And the side is retired in the 4th inning. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Dodgers 11, Pirates 9. carefully, you say, oh, poor Jamie Carroll, 0 for 3. He's the only one without a hit. But you should have seen the 0 for 3. In the first inning, bounced one up the middle. It went off Lincoln's glove, deflected to Cedeno, who threw him out. That certainly could have been a base hit. His next time up, he hit a bullet right at second baseman Neil Walker. That could have been a base hit, and he's 2 for 2. And in the third inning, for good measure, he hit a sinking line drive that was backhanded by Ronnie Cedeno. That could easily have been a third hit. So that's the toughest 0 for 3 you're going to see for a while. The consolation, the ball that he hit up the middle of Lincoln's glove did give him an RBI. So it's 11-0 Dodgers. And we'll start here in the fourth inning. A.J. Ellis a strike. He is struck out and walked. A.J. 0 for 1. We were talking before about all the batting championships, the Madlocks, the Alous, Clementis, etc. Which brings up the thought, the Pirates have won, individual Pirates have won 25 batting championships, more than any other franchise. 0-2. Ball 1. Two and 2 the count. Earlier we were talking about the Wainers and how incredible they were. As we see Rhys-Hop heave a big sigh. That's off the plate. Lloyd Wainer, the lesser known of the two, as a rookie had 223 hits. He established another record with 198 singles. Well, Ellis joins the club. He gets a base hit to center. So only Jamie Carroll is on the outside looking in, and as we mentioned, Jamie's drilled the ball 3 times. Okay, let's get you thinking about something. Here's a trivia for you today. Last night's winning pitcher, Ted Lilly, has won 10 or more 9 straight seasons. Which 3 pitchers have longer current streaks? I will give you the answer in a little while. 11-0 Dodgers. Ellis with a base hit. Here's Billingsley. And ball 1. Chad singled, hit into a force play. 2 at bats in the second inning. We're only in the fourth. 1 ball and no strikes. In there. 1-1. Pirates away from home are 34-40 going into this game. One of their big problems too, the fact that they were 10 games under 500 at home. 2-1. Foul ball into and out of the dugout. Wow. That's all the Pirates need now, is to have a player get hurt on a line drive foul. 2-2 the count. I remember Walter Olson got nailed on the knee, line drive in the Dodger dugout years ago. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Down he goes. So Billingsley strikes out, 1 away. For Rhys-Hop, that's his second strikeout. He got Gary Sands for the last out in the third inning. And the batter, D. Gordon. 11 runs, 14 hits for the Dodgers. Nothing for Pittsburgh, 2 hits. They've had 2 men get to second base. So Gordon tripled, sacrificed, and walked. And probably a fly ball to left field. Presley is there. And we have 2 down in the fourth. And the batter, Jamie Carroll. Baseball is so
Dodger
mad.
second baseman, number 14.
Jamie Carroll, who has hit the ball 3 times right on the screws, and he's 0 for 3. Could very well then get a bloop single. Players firmly believe, although it's never possible to figure out how true it is, but players firmly believe over the course of 162 games, things even out. So they believe. For every line drive you hit at somebody, you'll get a break. I think it's almost hit. Ball 1. It is good to have a philosophy to help keep your head straight in playing this game for a living. 1 ball and no strikes to Jamie. And on deck, a person of interest. That would be the best way to put it for Matt Kemp. He indeed is a person of interest in this runaway game. Not only has he gotten 3 hits, 1 of them a home run, Matt has a shot at the cycle. He's got a single, double, and home run. Fouled away. Does he have any triples? You bet. With Kemp's speed, he has 4 triples, 28 doubles, 34 home runs. So he is a person of interest. We're in the 4th, 11-0 Dodgers. We have 2 out. Carroll at the plate. Fouled away again. A.J. Ellis at first base with 2 out. Tuesday night. Baseball is fading away into the distance, but before the sun sets on the club and the season, if you can, I'd suggest you be here Tuesday night especially. Tim Lincecum for the Giants and Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers, searching for his 20th. And just to add insult to injury, or maybe injury to insult, Jamie fouls a ball on his foot. 1-2 to count. Got him right on top of the left foot. Jamie trying to shake it off. Ellis at first, 2 out, 4th inning, 11-0 Dodgers. And fouled away. Well, we can tell you a couple of scores. The Giants on their way to beating the Rockies 12-5 San Francisco. They're in the 8th inning. The D-backs now are getting well. They're leading the Padres 4-1 in the 7th inning. Aaron Hill singled Gerardo Parra. He scored on the base hit by Hill. And then Hill was singled by Paul Goldschmidt. And the D-backs lead 4-1. Two and 2 to Jamie Carroll. Kind of hard to say he's 0 for 3 and just let it go at that. 2-2. And still up there hacking away. When the Pirates come up in the 5th inning, they'll have Ronnie Cedeno. Then we'll see about Resop and then Presley. Dodgers scored 6 last night, 7 the game before. So they've scored 24 runs in the last 2.5 games against Pittsburgh. And a high fly ball to right field. Xavier Paul is there, and that'll be that. So no runs, a hit, a man left, and at the end of 4, 11-0 Dodgers. do. They toss souvenir balls to the folks in and around the dugout and home area. Dodgers have scattered baseballs all over the ballpark today. Home runs by Matt Kemp and Jerry Sands. The game started for the Dodgers on a high note when D. Gordon led off and tripled. So for Don Mattingly, like any manager, I'm sure he would love to find a way to put some runs in escrow to be called upon come Tuesday night. He might need them with Clayton Kershaw going against Tim Lincecum. Here's Ronnie Cedeno, struck out in the second inning. Chase Darno is on deck. 1-1. Ronnie hitting .253, 2 home runs. And that's going to be hit into the glove of D. Gordon. Is he something to watch? Boy, what legs, what spring in those young legs. Watch him go up the ladder. Up. And makes the play.
Hitting for the Pirates, number 12, Chase Darno.
So Cedeno losing a base hit on that leaping catch by D. Gordon. And we have 1 out. Chase Darno, local boy from Los Alamitos, checking in at the plate. Chase started at shortstop last night, had 1 hit to go 1 for 5. That was good. You were hoping coming back to his hometown he might get a base hit. He had gone 0 for 4, was hit by a pitch and did steal a base in the first game in which he played. 0-2 the count. Well, no matter what, Darno can tell the family about playing at Dodger Stadium. He has a brother in the Phillies organization, Travis. They grew up in the backyard of the house in Los Alamitos. And he hits it hard to left and a base hit. Well, good for him. So Arnaud gets himself his second hit in the series, pinch single. Now we have a trivia question to answer. Remember, it had to do with Ted Willie having won 10 or more, 9 straight. Which 3 pitchers have longer current streaks? Javier Vazquez, 12. Mark Burley and CC Sabathia. So a lot of years of good production. By the way, if you wonder about the record, that's ball 1 to Presley. The major league record is 20 straight 10 wins or more seasons, held by Greg Maddux. The record for consecutive 20-win seasons is 12 by Christy Mathewson. Fly ball to center. Kemp is there. Wind's playing with it a little. So Presley, a fly ball to center. We have 2 down.
Coming to the plate,
and the batter is Xavier Paul.
Xavier Paul.
Remember, even though he's leading 11-0, Chad Billingsley has to get through this inning. Figures he will, but he still has to get through this inning in order to be eligible for a win. And remember, he's had 4 straight no decisions. He had 6 no decisions and a loss. Last time he won a game was August the 5th. So they give him 11 runs today. Xavier Paul 1 for 2. He takes a strike. Down in the bullpen for the Bucks, Evan Meek, getting ready to be their 5th pitcher used today. Oh, and 1. 0-2. When the Dodgers come up in the 5th inning, don't go wandering, because Matt Kemp will be coming up with a chance for the cycle. Be Kemp, Rivera, and Loney. Matt homered, then he singled, then he doubled. And we're only in the 5th inning, so he's got a couple of shots at it. We'll see. No balls and 2 strikes to Xavier Paul. Fouled away. Dodgers just broke the game wide open. 3 in the 1st inning, 6 in the 2nd inning, 2 more in the 3rd, and that was that. There was just no game left, I don't think. Oh, 0-2 to Xavier Paul in the dirt. On deck, Andrew McCutchen. Billingsley slowing the pace down of the game, saying that with a straight face. 2-2. Billingsley, very deliberate. And drive into left center and deep. On his horse is Rivera. This one is off the wall. Coming around to score is Darno, and he will score. So the Pirates get on the board. It's 11-1 in favor of the Dodgers on the long double by the former Dodger, Xavier Paul. Got a fastball up on the outside part of the plate, and he just spanked it to the base of the wall, relayed by Rivera. And Xavier is 2 for 3 and a run batted in. So the boy who wanted to be a Pirate comes up with his 2nd hit. Now McCutchen. Andrew has singled and walked, stolen a base. 0-1. So Billingsley gives up his 3rd hit, followed by his 4th hit, followed by a run. One ball and 1 strike. Billingsley is 4-1 lifetime against the Pirates. His only defeat came this year against Pittsburgh. That was back on the 9th of May. He went 7 innings, allowed 3 earned runs, made 101 pitches, and lost it. Billingsley, remember, had that what we thought was a breakout year. He was 12-5 4 years ago. Came back to win 16 and lose 10 3 years ago. That's fouled away, but since then he's really been running hard in place. In 2009, 12-11. 2010, 12-11. 2011, should he win today, he'll be 11-10. 1-2. Overthrowing very high. 2-2 the count. Dodger outfielders are now having a little trouble concentrating, just as the Pirates. So the Dodger outfielders appear just a little restless. Hard ground ball, foul outside of third down the line. So it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. There was a runaway game in Wrigley Field, Chicago one year, and the Giants had an outfielder named Jackie Brandt. and he was kind of standing out in right field, and he basically had a good portion of his hand in his mouth. Chub Feeney went running down the right field line, hollering at him. That's another foul ball. Jackie. And Brandt looked over, recognized Chubby, and instead of taking his hand out of his mouth, he waved the fingers of his hand while the hand was still in his mouth. Just to say, hi, Chub. It is hard, I guess, especially on the concentration. And Billingsley really being very deliberate. 2-2. Ball 3. There was a picture, I understand. I didn't see it. I think it was on YouTube or some highlight film of the Cubs shortstop, Starlin Castro. There was a pitch being made to home plate. Castro was chewing sunflower seeds and at his back to home plate. Hello? Another foul ball. 3-2. Well, it might be tough enough for the Dodgers, but they are leading 11-1. You can imagine how it feels in the Pirate dugout. A lot of hang in there. 3-2 to Andrew McCutchen. And he lifts one to center and deep. Back goes Kemp. Sunglasses glistening. Reaches up and makes the catch. Oh, what a fine play. Matt Kemp, he can do it all. And it is on display throughout the year. Bucks get a run. Dodgers lead 11-1. He's had many for Matt Kemp. He opened up the game in the first inning with a home run, dead center field. In the second inning, he wound up with a line drive single to center to drive in a run. And for good measure in the third inning, hit one into right field for a Sun double. And he now has 3 hits, couple of runs batted in, and a shot at the cycle. The last cycle, you may remember the O-Dog, Orlando Hudson. So we'll see about Matt with the single, double, and home run. Dodgers leading 11-1. Billingsley made 24 pitches in the 5th inning. The Chad has now made 98 pitches. And the Dodger bullpen will warm up back of him. Meanwhile, here's Evan Meek. Meek came in and was a little unsteady, let's put it that way. That's fouled away. That was in the 9th inning of the first game. Remember, Ross Ohlendorf had made 16 starts without a win, and Meek came in and had a little bit of a scary ninth. He got the first 2 Dodgers, then he gave up a base hit and a couple of walks, and with the bases loaded, Hanrahan had to come in to end the jam. So Meek with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Evan is from Bellevue, Washington. Originally selected by Tampa Bay. In fact, that first game, it was kind of nice. We're always looking for that kind of a thing anyway. There was Ross Ohlendorf sweating out. Will he ever get a win after all those consecutive starts? And there's Meek suddenly loading the bases. And when Meek had to come out for Hanrahan, the first guy to meet him and pat him on the back was Ross Ohlendorf. It was a nice scene. Well, Matt's still up there. 2-2 the count. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Hung-Chi Kuo warming up, and there's Ross. They say he's the smartest man in baseball. And I'll tell you, his gesture, the pat on the back to Meek, told me a lot more than his intelligence. You know what they say about him when they're in the bullpen? They'll come up with these long polysyllabic words, and they will ask to spell them, and he can spell them backwards before most of the guys can spell them regular. And Matt Kemp strikes out, but again, it's only the 5th. He's going to have another at bat at least. So 1 away in the 5th inning.
Infielder number 33, Juan Rivera.
Juan Rivera has popped up, but he also has 2 base hits. Rivera now hitting .289, 4 home runs, 39 runs batted in, 2 ribbies today. One out, 5th inning, 11-1 Dodgers. Two and 0 the count. If you have been around the Dodgers long enough, I mean long enough, if you remember the most horrific loss I think the Los Angeles Dodgers ever suffered during the regular season was in August of 1990. That was a game where the Dodgers led Phillies 11-1 after 5 innings. Well, they're leading 11-1 in the 5th inning right now, and this ball 4 to Rivera. And leading 11-1 in the 5th inning, the Dodgers actually lost the game 12-11.
First baseman number 7.
I don't think Tommy Lasorda will ever get over that. So I'm not saying Pittsburgh's going to pull it out. I don't mean that. But what I am saying, you never know in this great game. So Meek gives up the walk, and here's Loney. James has singled to right, doubled, and walked. Another Dodger having a big day. Breaking ball, but he missed. Ball 1, 1-0. It's been Lincoln, Thompson, LaRoe, Resop, and Meek. 5 more pitchers used by the Pirates. Almost got him on the hand. Go down out to talk as Domit. Evan Meek, 28 years old, an even 6. Big man at 220 pounds. All right, Evan trying to get some outs here. 1 out, 5th inning. Dodgers lead 11-1. Strike. You know, we're talking about the outfielders being bored, standing around in this kind of a game. It's also got to be tough for the umpires. I mean, they don't get the chance to go and sit in the dugout. 2-1, 2-2. And at the same time, they can't afford to fall asleep out there. They have to stay on their game. Forget about the score. Forget it's one-sided. They've got a job to do. But again, it's distracting for everybody. Maybe not the plate umpire. I mean, maybe the plate umpire, he's got his head in this thing on every pitch. Mike Muchlinski is behind the plate. Mike's 34. And that's going to be hit into center field. Loney drops a little flare. And he comes up with a perfect day so far. A walk, 2 singles, and a double.
Batting next, third baseman, number 6, Aaron Miles.
So Aaron Miles coming up. Dodgers now have 15 hits. Miles singled, walk, grounded out, 1 for 2. You know the gizmo that you have now where you can speed and not see a commercial? You know, you shoot right through to the next scene. Wouldn't you like to be able to have that same instrument and shoot to the 9th inning in this game? I mean, to be honest. All right, here's Miles. 2 on, 1 out, and ball 1. Aaron 1 for 2, and this is his specialty with men on base. We've given you those numbers. In at the hands, 2-0. Pirates have used 21 pitchers, and there's our favorite, Ray Searage, making his 234th appearance of the mound. Well, maybe not, but I bet it seems that way to him and to Clint Hurdle. Ray trying so hard to give his pitchers hang in there, a pep talk, a little bit of instruction. Evans, and yeah, okay, all right. And Ray Searage, who was a left-hander who wore the blue, on his way back to the dugout. 1 out, 5th inning, 11-1 Dodgers. And Miles trying actually to add to it. Might be just base hits to the fans, but bread and butter to the players. 2-0. And ball 3. Waiting on deck, Jerry Sands. And there is ball 4. You really feel badly for the Pirates. They don't want you to feel badly for them, but I mean, you have to feel for them. It's a nightmare day. Every ball club has a thoroughly forgettable game, and for the Bucks, this would be it. In some ways, however, when it's over, it's also the most forgettable game for many involved. So let's see about Sands with the bases loaded and a strike. Jerry singled in the 1st inning and then hit a 3-run home run in the 2nd. His average at .239. Last time up he struck out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sands, you may remember, had a grand slam back in May in Houston. Matt Kemp has one. So does James Loney. So Rivera, Loney, and Miles out on the bases with 1 out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Very light breeze blowing towards right field. We talked about Sands' power to right center, but his home run went to left. Off the plate. 2-2. Jerry had 2 singles and a double to right center last night. He had a double to right center in the 2nd inning. The game before that. He's hitting 7 straight. Off the plate. So Evan Meek fighting it here. Struck out Kemp. Walked Rivera. Gave up a loop single to Loney and then turned around to walk Miles. So Evan trying to get Sands. A.J. Ellis on deck. 3-2. And strike 3 called. Letter high fastball at 92. And Jerry goes back to the dugout. So Meek comes up with his 2nd strikeout. And the batter now is A.J. Ellis. Ellis struck out, walked, and singled. Everyone but Carroll has a base hit, and that concludes Billingsley. And Carroll has hit the ball 3 times, worthy of hits, but he's 0 for 4. That's a strike. 0-1. Rivera, Loney, and Miles waiting for a good turn of events. Meek trying to get the last out in the 5th inning. Dodgers lead 11-1. One and one. When the Pirates come up in the 6th inning, Dumit, Walker, and Jones in that order. And ball 2. Light breeze blowing from left to right has picked up enough so you can see the flag stir. Two balls and 1 strike. Looked like a slider fouled away off to the right. Ellis taking a long walk away from home plate to think that over. Two and 2 to A.J. And that gets away, but the runners will hold. 3-2 the count. So holding at third is Rivera. Loney at second. Miles at first. 2 out and a 3-2 count. A.J. Ellis and Chad Billingsley waiting on deck. Runners go. Ball 4. The Meek walks his 3rd man. A.J. Ellis gets a run batted in, and everybody moves up 90 feet. Rivera brings in the run. Loney goes to 3rd, Miles to 2nd, Ellis to 1st. Hurdle goes to the plate umpire. That usually means a 2-for-1 switch. We'll wait and see. So while they're figuring that out, we'll pause for this. Evan Meek has another battle with his control, and here in the 5th inning, he walks 3 and gives up a base hit. Meanwhile, with Siriaca taking over in left field, Alex Presley moves to center, and Daniel McCutcheon will be the new pitcher. So McCutcheon is the 6th pitcher used by Clint Hurdle.
Remember, if your seat was cold, be sure to head to Fan Appreciation Prize headquarters.
22 Pirate pitchers in this 4 games. So it's one of those meet the Bucks series. Daniel 4 and 3. Trying to get some outs. 2 out. And Billingsley up there. Chad singled, hit into a force play, and struck out. Dodgers now leading 12-1. Bases still loaded. And a strike. 0-1. And 2. Two out, bases loaded, 0-2 to Billingsley. Dodgers leading handily. And down goes Billingsley, and that's that. So as it turns out, Pirate pitching strikes out the side, and at the end of 5, 12-1 Dodgers. Aware of it. They took the field. He's standing in center field, hitting .320. Hung Chi Kuo is on the mound, but before this inning will start, they will take Matt Kemp out. It is baseball's way to allow a player having a magnificent season to take a bow. Russ Mitchell comes into the game to take over at third for Aaron Miles, and in a minute, Matt Kemp will be paid tribute to by the fans. He'll be called out of the game, and he will jog off all by himself to get the well-deserved plaudits of the crowd. He has no idea that's going to happen. He's probably thinking, well, I struck out last time up, but I still have one more at bat to get the cycle. Ryan Domit is coming up to home plate, and we are waiting now. We've been told that it's going to happen. Trent Olchin is up the steps, and he's coming out. So here it comes. Olchin is heading for center field, and Matt Kemp will jog off the field by himself and receive the plaudits of the crowd.
Number 49, Trent Olchin, who replaces number 27, Matt Kemp.
For a nice tribute, the Dodgers spending the day appreciating their fans and the fans appreciating Matt Kemp and all he has done, and the chant wells up, MVP. Well, let's just look at his credentials. Matt Kemp, as he goes into the dugout, has 34 home runs, 113 runs batted in, 40 stolen bases. He scored 101, 28 doubles, 4 triples. What a year. And a .320 batting average. Okay, now we get back to the game. Hung Chi Kuo picking up for Chad Billingsley, who made 98 pitches. And for Matt Kemp, for the first time this year, really, he becomes a spectator. And Kuo now 2-0 to Ryan Dumit. The catcher is flied to left, struck out. As you know, if you've been following the Dodgers, Kuo has been fighting his control. He has 21 walks, 34 strikeouts. Ground ball to third. Mitchell is on at Coloni. 1 away in the 6th inning.
Batting next, second baseman.
The batter will be the second baseman, Neil Walker, who grounded out, popped up, 0 for 2. Tuesday night, that begins the 3-game series, the Giants and the Dodgers, and what an opening act. Tim Lincecum and Clayton Kershaw. They figured to be battling each other for years to come. Ground ball to Gordon. D is up with it. Gets it over there. 2 down in the 6th inning. And the batter will be Garrett Jones.
First baseman, number 46.
Jones,
Garrett
little
Jones.
dribbler. Billingsley ran over and picked it up and kept on going and stepped on the bag. And then last time up, Garrett struck out. Jones hitting .244, 0 for 2. On deck, Pedro Alvarez. Ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Hit off the end of the bat. 1-2. Dodgers have not lost a season series to Pittsburgh since the year 2000, when they lost 5 of 9. They're on the way to beat Pittsburgh this year, 6 of 8. Breaking ball, pulled foul. 1-1. That was off speed. That was up there at 72. 1-2 the count to Garrett. Bucks 10 games under at home, 6 games under 500 on the road, 5 games under against the Western Division. And Garrett Jones strikes out. Down go the Pirates. And at the end of 5.5, it remains 12-1 Dodgers. but they were far from over when Jerry Sands came up. He had 2 men aboard and promptly hit the home run against Aaron Thompson into the left field stand. Dodgers added 2 more. They've just added yet another in the 5th. So Sands' 3-run home run might be lost in the numbers, but it's another milestone for the young outfielder. Dodgers 12 runs, 15 hits, and for the Bucks, 1 run, 4 hits. Daniel McCutchen will be ready to pitch to the Dodgers, and it'll be the top of the order. Gordon, Carroll, and Matt Kemp's replacement, Olsen. So Daniel McCutchen working on Gordon. D. Gordon opened up the game with a triple to the gap in right center. Sacrifice, walked, and flied to left. Facing McCutchen, Daniel change in for a strike. McCutchen's out of San Antonio, born in McKinney, Texas. That's a strike, 1-1. McCutchen will be 29 on the 26th. Dodgers will be in Arizona. Daniel came over from the Yankees. In the outfield that sent Xavier Nady to New York, and that's going to go into left field, base hit. In fact, more than a base hit. Gordon rounding and then holding on. A good play by Siriaco out there in left field. That is usually a double for Gordon, but Siriaco was right there to handle it. So Gordon is at first, and the batter is Jamie Carroll. Jamie, the only Dodger without a base hit, yet he could easily have had 3. Bounced one off Lincoln's glove in the first inning. Cedeno made a good backup play to throw him out. That otherwise could have gone through into center field. Next time up, he hit one right at Neil Walker, the second baseman, line drive. And then the third time, he hit a line drive towards the hole at short, and that was backhanded by Ronnie Cedeno. Jamie still hitting .285. And there's the hit, a flare to right. Gordon stops at second. So Carroll, who deserved the hit, and again, we're talking about the baseball philosophy. They all even out. So he flares one to right for the hit after 3 hard hit balls come up empty. So Gordon is single to left, Carroll is single to right. 2 on, and Trent Olsen coming up instead of Matt Kemp, who had a single, double, and home run. Had 1 shot at the cycle, and Matt struck out in the 5th inning. Trent hitting .226. Normally, of late, certainly a pinch hitter. Ground ball back to first in time for the out as the runners move up. So Garrett Jones takes it to the bag. Carroll goes to second. Gordon advances to third. And Juan Rivera coming up. Rivera has popped up, singled twice, and walked. He has scored a run. He has knocked in a couple. Hitting .289, 4 home runs, 39 runs batted in. We are in the 6th inning. Gordon down the line from third, Carroll at second, and Rivera fly ball to right center and deep. Coming over is Xavier Paul, and then he stops. It lands between Presley and Paul. Oh, that's really sad. So the Dodgers get 2 more, and now lead 14-1. Normally, you figure that the center fielder is the captain out there, and he's in charge with everything. You may remember Xavier Paul was a little embarrassed on a ball hit to right field by Matt Kemp. He had trouble with the sun, and this time Alphonse and Gaston, they both stopped. So again, you wish you could just speed to the 9th inning for the Pirates' sake and get this thing over with, but they have to play it. So Rivera gets a Sun double, we'll call it, and 2 more runs batted in. So Rivera has 3 hits, 4 RBIs, 14-1 Dodgers over an embarrassed, frustrated, and I'm sure somewhat angry Pirate team. For Clint Hurdle, blowing bubbles, chewing gum. That's all you can do. And of course, he's been around baseball plenty. Clint Hurdle was signed when he was 20 years old. In fact, you could not get a better looking ball player than Clint Hurdle. He was finally in the big leagues when he was 20 years old, 6'4", 195. I mean, you want to talk about a statue. He would make any team photo look great. Hit a home run in his 2nd major league. Oh, wow. Wild pitch. That'll send Rivera to 3rd. If you've ever tried to play this game, I don't care what level it is, whether it's Little League all the way up, you know what it's like to play in a game like this. Pirates don't want you to feel sorry for them, but they do want you to understand that there's tough games on every schedule for every team. So Rivera's at 3rd. Loney with a chance to pick up an RBI. And he does. Line drive. Okay. 15-1. There is no mercy rule in baseball. For Loney, meanwhile, a perfect day. 4 hits and a walk. For the Dodgers, and we mentioned a lot of teams go through this, Dodgers scored 15 runs in June in Minnesota. So another team that's been humbled, the Minnesota Twins. That's a strike. So Rutsch Mitchell, not that he wants to humiliate Pittsburgh, but he could use a base hit. 1-1. On deck, Jerry Sands. Mitchell appeared as a pinch hitter last night, lined out to center, batting for Ted Lilly. 1-2. Mitchell started the Hiroki Kuroda game and had 1 base hit. And he started the Ohlendorf game, game 1, and had a home run. Foul ball behind the plate. Dumet coming back, but it's on the other side of the screen. 1-2 the count. Remember, the Pirates still have some cards to play, and we're not talking about St. Louis. The Pirates leave here and go to Arizona, and they will have certainly an effect over there. How have they done against the Pirates and Arizona? Pittsburgh has lost 2 out of 3. In fact, turn that around. Actually, Pittsburgh has beaten Arizona 2 out of 3. Well, Giants were winning. Arizona was winning, coming from behind to do it. Giants are going to pack their bags and come here with an 8-game winning streak. But they didn't gain any ground. Diamondbacks beat the Padres 5-1, and the Giants beat the Rockies 12-5. Matt Cain won his 12th, hit one of the 6 home runs the Giants hit at Coors Field. Pablo Sandoval, the Panda, he had 2 home runs. And there is another base hit. So Mitchell a single to left, and that'll bring up Jerry Sands. Dodgers leading 15-1 on 20 base hits. 20. Sands singled to center in the first inning, hit a 3-run home run in the second, and then maybe trying to hit another home run. Struck out in the third and struck out in the fifth. And takes a strike. Arizona, by winning, that snapped a 3-game losing streak. The Giants breathing fire. They'll be here with an 8-game winning streak Tuesday night. Tim Lincecum and Clayton Kershaw. And that's going to go into right field, base hit. And they will stop Loney at third. So Sands comes up with his third hit. A single to right field. Dodgers have loaded the bases yet again. They have 21 hits. Daniel McCutchen just has to hang in there. And here's A.J. Ellis. Struck out and walked, singled and walked. And there's our pal Ray Searage heading for the mound. As Ray talks to Daniel McCutchen, a reminder when the Dodgers scored 15 runs in Minnesota, their high for runs this year. They had 25 hits in that game. They have 21 hits so far in this game. They're only in the 6th inning. All right, Ray Searage making that walk back to the dugout. And Daniel McCutchen trying desperately to get 2 more outs. Back of him, the left-hander Tony Watson, who appeared briefly last night, begins to warm up. And here's Ellis with the bases loaded. Almost hit him. Ball 1. Dodgers for the second time, a 3-run inning, and it might be more. That's a strike. 1-1 to A.J. Fastball grounded to third. They're going to get 1. They are going to get 2. Came into that. So the Dodgers wind up scoring 3, and at the end of 6, as Daniel McCutchen walks off, it's 15-1 Dodgers. Your bullpen, so it's been Billingsley, Quo, and now Eli. Eugenio Velez goes into left field. Juan Rivera will come out. And we will plod on to the 7th inning. For John, first game in the majors since June. And he'll get a spot of work and face Alvarez, Cedeno. And then we'll see about McCutcheon's spot. You know, we've seen so much of him. Tim Fedorovich is going to take over behind the plate. We ought to tell you a little bit about Ray Searage. I mean, after all, he's been to the mound so many times. He's like an old friend. Ray Searage is 56 years old. He's from Deer Park, New York. He lives in St. Petersburg. He went to West Liberty College. And he was drafted by the Cardinals 35 years ago. Played for 4 teams, 7 years, including the Dodgers. Eli's pitch, a strike to Alvarez, who was walked and grounded out. And a drive to right, and Sands catches up to it.
Shortstop number 5.
So Alvarez, a line drive to Sands in right, 1 away. And the batter, Ronnie Cedeno. Cedeno struck out, popped up, 0 for 2. And ball 1. That's in there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ronnie Cedeno, hitting .252, 2 home runs, 31 runs batted in. It kind of turned back the clock a little bit from where we're sitting. You look down to home plate and see the back of Tim Fedorovich. Fouled away. The broad back of young Tim, wearing number 31, which of course brings back the memories of Mike Piazza. There it is. Foul back. Dodgers have 21 hits. They lead 15-1. We're in the 7th inning. And that's lifted foul off first, out of play. Pirates heading for Arizona. Dodgers have the day off tomorrow and then await the arrival of the Giants with their 8-game winning streak. And no doubt a desperate look on their faces trying to catch Arizona. Tim Lincecum and Clayton Kershaw trying for his 20th. That's Tuesday night. Wednesday night, Ryan Vogelsong and Dana Evelyn. That's a line drive base hit to right field. Thursday, the final home game of the year at Dodger Stadium. Madison Bumgarner and Hiroki Kuroda. So Cedeno goes 1 for 3 with a single to right.
For the Pirates, number 3, Pedro Sirianco.
Pedro Sirianco coming up, the left fielder. And ball 1. Sirianco hitting .320. He's been in 30, will make it 16 games. He has 6 RBIs, no home runs. 1 ball, no strikes. Bouncer to third. Mitchell on the run. Gets the out. Down to second base goes Cedeno. And with 2 out, it'll be Alex Presley. If you don't mind me saying it,
Center fielder, number
I have to
44,
congratulate
Alex Presley.
myself. We have done a 4-game series with Pittsburgh. I have mentioned Presley's name I don't know how many times in the 4 games. And not once did I say Elvis. Not once. Way to go, Vin. Alex has struck out, grounded out, flied out. Strike. 0-1. He wears the big number. 44. That commands my attention. 0-1. 1-1. 44 makes me think of Willie McCovey. Of course, Henry Aaron. Henry Aaron won the batting crown 4 times. Home run crown. 3 of the 4 times wore 44 all the time. And 3 of the 4 he had 44 home runs. And when he broke Babe Ruth's record, the pitcher, Al Downing for the Dodgers, who served it up, was wearing 44. 2-1. And that's lifted into right center. Trent Olgen converging, and he's the captain and makes the catch. To Presley, a long out. And we're heading for the bottom of the 7th inning on Hello Kitty Day. Dodgers 15, Pirates 1. Tony Watson will be the 7th pitcher used by Pittsburgh. Tony appeared in the 7th inning of last night's game. As the Giants will arrive here Tuesday, and we get a bulletin that the Giants have activated closer Brian Wilson from the 15-day DL. Wilson figures to be the closer as early as Tuesday night. So that's a positive and a plus for San Francisco, who will arrive here with an 8-game winning streak. Tony Watson working to Fedorovich. One ball and no strikes. Tim Fedorovich picked up his first Major League RBI in this series, hitting .333. Down behind the plate now, Jason Jaramillo for Pittsburgh. Been a long day, I bet, for Ryan Duman, handling 6 different pitchers, so Jaramillo will give him a break behind the plate. Two and one, and a strike. 2-2. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The game is a little over 3 hours old. For the Pirates, I'm sure time of game would be interminable. And ball 3. Dodgers have used Billingsley, Quo, and Eli. So Tony Watson picking up the chores. It's a very tough assignment to be coming in this kind of a game, but a job is a job. And foul back on a good fastball. Tony Watson is out of interesting. The starting pitcher's name was Lincoln. And now at the tail end of this disaster, Tony Watson's from Lincoln, Nebraska. Popped up on the infield. Neil Walker going out, calling, and makes the catch. So Fedorovich pop fly to Neil Walker.
Shortstop, number 9.
One down, and D. Gordon coming up. D. Gordon began the day with a triple. Then he sacrificed and walked, fly to left, single to left. So it's been a big day. Gordon leading the way, hitting .286. 0-1. Part of D. Gordon's game disappears, of course, when you get this kind of a game. Infield is back. There's no way he's going to give the Bucks an insult by dragging for a base hit. 0-1. And a flare to left. It is going to drop. So for D. Gordon, that is his 3rd hit. It gives the Dodgers, as if they need it, their 22nd hit.
Second baseman, number 14.
Gordon with 2 singles and a triple. So Watson is welcome to the club, and Tony will now pitch to Jamie Carroll. Carroll is 1 for 5, single to right. And ball 1. Watson is 6'4", 225. There's spider work of shadows between the mound and home plate. So it's a tough time to be playing, especially for the Pirates, but now for everybody when you're up there to hit. In the dirt, Jaramillo makes a good stop. 2 balls and no strikes, the count. Jamie Carroll has been right about a .286, it seems, all year long. 14 RBIs. 2-0. in there. 2-1. Tony Watson, an outstanding young pitcher in high school in Iowa, won the coveted Bob Feller Award, which goes annually to the top scholastic pitcher in Iowa. Why'd he get it? Well, among other things, Tony threw 3 no-hitters. And I loved his earned run average. A state record. His earned run average was 0.10. And then he tore his labrum before he got to Nebraska. He had to have surgery. That set him back a bit, but he's battled back nicely, and here he is. 2-2. Whoops. Tony Watson, 26 years old, signed in the 9th round by the Pirates. He was originally signed by the Marlins, but he opted to go to Nebraska. Basically, fastball, slider, and a change. And he misses. So Carroll gets the walk. Dodgers at first and second. Trent Olchen will be coming up. The Dodgers let Matt Kemp, in case you weren't with us, they let Matt Kemp take his position, and then they sent Olchen in so that Matt could leave the field by himself. Got a nice round of applause for another tremendous effort. Kemp today had a single, double, and home run. Trent Olchen made out in the 6th inning. Now he's got a chance with 2 on here in the 7th. Good day, mate. The boy from Australia. And a strike. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Jaramillo out to talk to Watson. Giants will see the score about the Dodgers leading Pittsburgh 15-1, or whatever the final will be, and their first thought will probably be good. They got a bad game out of the way before they play Arizona. Oh, 0-2. I mean, when you're down to the last nitty-gritty, I would think that would be the first thought that comes to mind for the Giants. They've won 8 in a row, 5 back, and needless to say, time running out. 0-2 to Trent. In there. So Olchen has a look, pays the price, strikes out, and we have 2 down in the 7th inning, and Eugenio Velez coming up.
Number 3.
Well, Velez, another chance, another opportunity. He is 0 for 32. We've told you that earlier. A veteran like Craig Counsell was 0 for 45. Luis Aparicio was 0 for 44. Dave Campbell, who is now a broadcaster, 0 for 45. Counsell's 0 for 45. One shy of the record for a position player. Bill Bergen. Bill Bergen was a catcher who played for the Brooklyn Dodgers a long time ago, and he holds the unenviable record. Bill 0 for 46. Oh, sure, I'm sure pitchers have gone longer without a hit. Two-0 the count to Eugenio Velez from the Dominican. 6'1", about 160. And fly ball to straightaway center. Presley is there. So for Velez, he now goes 0 for 33. Down go the Dodgers in the 7th. And we have 7 innings in the book. Dodgers lead 15-1. Dodgers breezing here on Sand Appreciation Day, 15-1. The Pirates in the 8th inning will have Xavier Paul, Andrew McCutchen, who left the game, Alex Presley in center field. McCutchen, while he was in there, went 1 for 2 and was robbed by Matt Kemp. So here's Paul. And ball 1. Brandon Wood comes out on deck to be the pinch hitter. So in a series where the Pirates really worked their bullpen, they had 7 more pitchers today, and there'll have to be an 8th. 23 Pirate pitchers. Jason Grilly is warming up in the bullpen, and he will be the 24th pitcher in the 4 games. John Eli, the 3rd Dodger pitcher. Billingsley, Quo, and Eli. Xavier Paul having some trouble in right field. It is a troublesome spot. It gets all the sun all the time. He had some trouble with Kemp, and then of course there was a ball that landed between Presley and Paul. Rivera picked up a gift double. Xavier struck out in the 1st inning, but he singled in the 3rd and doubled in the 5th. Paul batting .255. That's off the plate for ball 4. So in the 8th inning, Eli walks Paul, and here comes Brandon Wood.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the Pirates, number 2, Brandon Wood.
Brandon Wood started in the first game and went 2 for 4. Did not play in the second game and takes a strike. Wood started the third game and had a double, and now appear as a pinch hitter today. Brandon, a first-round pick by the Angels, you probably remember. That's a strike. 0-2. Brandon, 6'3", 195, out of Austin, Texas. Lives and grew up in Scottsdale. Went to high school over there. In the dirt, nice block by Fedorovich. Wood looked like the kind of a player who's going to be a big star. At Rancho Cucamonga 6 years ago, he had 43 home runs. That got everybody's attention. In Arkansas, he had 25. Salt Lake, he had 23. Salt Lake, he had 31. However, it hasn't worked for him in the big leagues. The Angels, he had 5, he had 1, he had 4. This year, he has 7 home runs. And Wood waits at 26. Down he goes. So 1 away in the 8th inning as Brandon Wood strikes out. And the catcher, Jason Jaramillo, coming up. Jaramillo doesn't get much of a chance to play. Of course, the Pirates, as we mentioned, have used 8 catchers. That's foul back, 0-1. Jaramillo is a switch hitter. He's been in 13 games. A total of only 22 at bats. Left-handed, he is 7 for 15. That's a strike. With a name like Jason Jaramillo, you figure he's probably from a Hispanic country, but you'd be wrong. He's from Wisconsin. And down he goes. So first Wood, then Jaramillo. 2 out in the 8th inning.
Batting next, second baseman, number
Neil
18,
Walker, the
Neil
switch
Walker.
hitter, coming up. Walker grounded out twice, popped up 0 for 3. Ball 1. Neil hitting .271. He has 12 home runs, 80 runs batted in. Foul back. 1-1. Walker, a switch hitter, doing a little bit better work batting left-handed. That's where his power is. Of his 12 home runs, 11 have been hit left-handed. Good looking player. I think his streak now is 47 without an error. Whoops. Tough to see the ball up there too. Dark around the plate, bright on the mound. A carpet of shade laid out there from the first base foul line out towards third. Neil Walker, born in Pittsburgh. And a strike. Neil is 26 years old. He usually gets pretty deep in the count. 8th highest rate of pitches per plate appearance. He has 22 infield hits. And this time ground ball to first. Loney is there, and that's it. So we're heading for the bottom of the 8th inning. and it's 15-1 in favor of the Dodgers. And in case you arrived and tuned in a little late, here's what's taken place. Got it? Okay. Everybody in the Dodger lineup with at least one hit. The Pirates are using their 8th pitcher as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Loney 5 for 5 leading the way. Matt Kemp was taken out of the game. He had a single, double, and home run. So it's just been one of those runaway games. Dodgers 15 runs, a season high. They had 15 against Minnesota. They had 25 hits in that game. They have 22 hits in this game. And they'll look at the 8th Pirate pitcher, Jason Grilli. You may remember we were talking about Jason Grilli and September the 19th. Well, September the 19th is tomorrow. But it's a special day, even though it's an off day. He made his major league debut September the 19th, 2005. 30 years earlier, in 1975, his dad, Steve Grilli, made his debut on September 19th. Loney goes a long way to left for the out. Well, they finally get him. One away. So James, after a big day, Grilli gets the out. Both ways on that September the 19th. Both father and son made their debuts 30 years apart on September the 19th with the same team, the Detroit Tigers. So it comes as no surprise to you, I'm sure, when I tell you he's from Detroit, but he lives in Orlando. Ball one. Russ Mitchell with Jerry Sands on deck. Bottom of the 8th inning, 15-1 Dodgers. And that's a shot to the hole. Cedeno with the long throw in time. So 2 down in the 8th inning. That'll bring up Jerry Sands. Down in the Dodger bullpen,
number 47,
Ramon Troncoso begins to loosen up. Jerry Sands singled in the first inning to drive in a run, hit a 3-run home run in the second inning, struck out twice and singled to right in the 6th inning. So Sands has had a big day, has his average up to 242, 3 home runs, 25 runs batted in. And promptly gets a base hit. So that's his 4th hit. So the Dodgers now with 23 hits to go along with their 15 runs.
Pitcher number 48, John Eli.
John Eli will be allowed to come up and bat with 2 out here in the 8th inning. And a strike. So 15 runs, 23 hits, and no errors for the Dodgers. 1 run, 5 hits for the Bucks. Dodgers will make it 6 out of 8 and then await the arrival of the Giants Tuesday night. And again, Tuesday night with so much on the line, the Giants desperately trying to stay alive to catch Arizona, and Clayton Kershaw trying to win his 20th against the 2-time Cy Young Award winner Tim Lincecum. So Clayton will just watch today, and he'll be center stage Tuesday. By the way, Jerry Sands with 4 hits today. That's the 2nd time he's had it. He had 4 hits in a game against the White Sox, and it's 15-1 Dodgers. Ramon Troncoso to get the last 3 outs of the inning. And by the way, talk about a taste of their own medicine. When the Giants come here, remember they swept Colorado. The Giants piled up 35 runs and 48 hits in that 4-game sweep of the Rockies. Pablo Sandoval had 7 hits, including 3 home runs in 3 games. And among other things for Sandoval, he started that series by hitting for the cycle Thursday and ended it with his 2nd multi-homer game this season. So the Giants are going to come in here red hot and roaring, and the Dodgers will take the field having scored 15 runs today. That's a strike. 0-1. Garrett Jones, little ground ball to Billingsley, who took it to the bag and has struck out twice since. 0-2 to Garrett. Jones out of Harvey, Illinois. And lifts one into shallow, well, right field, almost for Dodgers And finally, Jamie Carroll made the catch. Sands was coming in. Olsen was coming in. Gordon was going out to help out. But Carroll made the play. So one away, and Pedro Alvarez coming out. Alvarez walked, grounded out, lined out. Pedro 0 for 2 with 1 out in the ninth. Oh and 1. Time of day where it's very difficult to watch the flight of the ball. Brilliant sunshine in everywhere but, let's say, straight away left field and in the infield. 0 and 2. There you have it. And the Spiders at work behind shortstop. Alvarez with Cedeno hitting back of him, and that's strike 3 called. So down goes Pedro, and we have 2 out in the ninth. Padres had a double by Xavier Paul along with a single in the 5th inning, and they've had just 1 hit since, and it's Cedeno who singled in the 7th inning. And first ball swinging, hits it into right center for the hit. Sands up with it. So Cedeno comes up with 2 hits to go 2 for 4. Pedro Siriaco grounded out in the 7th inning, so Pedro coming up. 2 out, 9th inning, 15-1 Dodgers. James Loney had a huge day today, and his 5 hits are just 1 shy of the Dodger record. The most recent, Cookie Lavagetto in Brooklyn, 1939. Willie Davis in 19 innings. Paul LaDuca in 11 innings. And then Sean Green when he had the 4 home runs. Little ground ball. The play to first is safe. So Siriaco beats the ground ball. Mitchell did everything but couldn't get him. So the inning and the game still alive. Boy, Siriaco flying down the line. Loney going out to get it. Does the split. But Siriaco has beaten the play. So 2 on, 2 out. And Alex Presley coming up. Alex 0 for 4. Struck out, grounded out, and twice fly to center. Presley, a 300 hitter, but his average now has dipped to 298. Alex started the day hitting 305. 2 on, 2 out in the ninth. One ball and 1 strike. Billingsley, Quo, Eli, and Troncoso. Check swing, pitch in the dirt. For Pittsburgh, it's been Lincoln, Thompson, LaRue, Resop, Meek, Daniel McCutchen, Watson, and Grilly. Pirates play tomorrow. That's a chopper to short. Gordon to first, and that will do it mercifully to end it. Dodgers 5, 15 runs, 23 hits. Matt Kemp had a big day, single, double, home run. Troncoso gets the last out. 1 run, 7 hits for the Pirates. Troncoso made 14 pitches. Jerry Sands had a big day. He had 3 singles and a home run. James Loney had 5 hits, so it was all Dodgers. They scored 3 in the first, half a dozen in the second, and the game was all over. So it's Tuesday night. The Giants and the Dodgers, Lincecum and Kershaw bidding for his 20th. We'll talk to you then. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good afternoon, everybody.